and it's been a couple of days. I'm on Chronicles 2, 3 verses 4, and I read a few things here already, and it basically just shows that the house of the Lord consisted of a lot of gold. And just for an example, and he made most holy house, the length whereof was according to the breadth of the house, 20 cubits, and overlaid it with fine gold, amounting to 600 talents. I'm not sure what is a talent, but and the nails were 50 shekels of gold, overlaid upon chambers with gold. In the most holy house, he made 2 cherubims of image work, overlaid them with gold. And the wings of the cherubims were 20 cubits long, one wing, and with 5 cubits reaching along the house, and likewise 5 cubits. And of course, the snuffers and the basins and the spoons and the censers of pure gold, and the entry of the house, the inner doors thereof, for the most holy place, and the doors of the house of the temple were gold. And the candlesticks with their lamps, they should burn after the manner of the cradle of pure gold. So it seems like they put a large emphasis on this gold thing, raising the value of gold, as they have lots of gold, and raising the value of gold with using the Bible. Moving on, 2 Chronicles 5 verse 4, and the elders of Israel came, and the Levites took up the ark, and they brought up the ark and the tabernacle of the congregation and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle. These did the priests and the Levites bring up. And King Solomon, of course it was King Solomon who was making all this happen, and all the congregation of Israel and that were assembled upon him before the ark sacrificed sheep and oxen, which could not be told nor numbered for multitude. And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord unto his place, to the oracle of the house, into the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark, and the staves thereof above. And they drew out the staves of the ark, that the ends of the staves were seen from the ark before the oracle, but they were not seen without, and there it is unto this day. There was nothing in the ark save the 2 tables which Moses put therein at Horeb, when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that were present were sanctified, and did not then wait by course. Also the Levites, which were the singers, all of them, of Asaph, of Heman, of Jeduthun, with their sons and their brethren, being arrayed in white linen, having cymbals and psalteries and harps, stood at the east end. of the altar, and with them 120 priests sounding with trumpets. Came even to pass, as the trumpets and singers were as one, to make one sound to be heard in praising and thanking the Lord. And when they lifted up their voice with the trumpets and cymbals and instruments of music, and praised the Lord, saying, For he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. That then the house was filled with a cloud, even the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister by reason of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of God. Then said Solomon, The Lord hath said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. But I have built a house of habitation for thee, and the place for thy dwelling forever. And the king turned his face and blessed the whole congregation of Israel, and all the congregation of Israel stood. And he said, Bless the Lord God of Israel, who hath with his hands fulfilled that which he spake with his mouth to my father David, saying, Since the day that I brought forth my people out of the land of Egypt, I chose no city among all the tribes of Israel to build a house in, that my name might be there. Neither chose I any man to be a ruler over my people Israel. So I'm not sure what God is for Israel, but there's only one God, so I think that's for everyone. So it should say God of everyone. But I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name might be there, and have chosen David over my people Israel. So I'm not sure where they're getting this information from, but it seems to be a little outdated, and who are these people? Now it was in the heart of David, my father, so did you write this, Solomon? For my father to build a house for the name of the Lord God of Israel. But the Lord said to David, my father, For as much as it was in thine heart to build an house for my name, thou didst well in that it was in thine heart. Notwithstanding, thou shalt not build the house, but thy son, which shall come forth out of thy loins, he shall build the house of my name. The Lord therefore hath performed his word that he hath spoken, for I am risen up in the room of David my father, and am set on the throne of Israel, as the Lord promised, and have built the house of the name of the Lord God of Israel. And in it have I put the ark, wherein is the covenant of the Lord that he made with the children of Israel. And he stood before the altar of the Lord in the presence of all the congregation of Israel, and spread forth his hands. For Solomon had made a brazen scaffold of 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad and 3 cubits high, had set it in the midst of the court, and upon it he stood and kneeled down upon his knees before all the congregation of Israel, and spread forth his hands towards heaven, and said, O Lord God of Israel, there is no God like thee in the heaven nor in the earth, which keepest covenant and shewest mercy unto thine servants that walk before thee with all their hearts. Thou which hast kept with thy servant David my father that which thou hast promised him, and spakest with thy mouth, and hast fulfilled it with thine hand, as it is this day. Now therefore, O Lord God of Israel, O God of the world, keep with thy servant David my father that which thou hast promised him, saying, there shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit upon the throne of the world, yet so that thy children take heed to their way to walk in my law, as thou hast walked before me. Now then, O Lord God of the world, let thy word be verified, which thou hast spoken unto thy servant David, which I highly doubt, but will God in very deed dwell with men on the earth? Behold, heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee, how much less this house which I have built. Have respect therefore to the prayer of thy servant, and to his supplication, O Lord my God, to hearken unto the cry and the prayer which thy servant prayeth before thee, that thine eyes may be open upon this house day and night, upon the place whereof thou hast said that thou wouldest put thy name there, to hearken unto the prayer which the servant prayeth toward this place. Hearken therefore unto the supplications of the servant and of thy people of Israel, or of thy people of the world, which they shall make toward his people. Hear thou from thy dwelling place, even from heaven, and when thou hearest, forgive. And if a man sin against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou from heaven, and do and judge the servants by requiting the wicked, by recompensing his way upon his own head, and by justifying the righteous, by giving him according to his righteousness. And if thy people Israel, thy people of the world, be put, says thy people of Israel, what is he talking? To those before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall return and confess thy name, and pray and make supplication before thee in this house. So for some reason it just says that God is only for Israel, and I just don't really understand that part. So that's it.